This video will show you how to round to the nearest 10, 100, and 1000 using the look back method. Now, before we go on to the method, the rule that you need to know is when you're rounding any number that is 5 or more, you round up, and any number that is 4 or less, you need to round down. This will make sense when we come into the look back method. So let's start off by rounding to the nearest 10. Rounding to the nearest 10, so I'll just write that in. Rounding to the nearest 10. Let's say, for example, we wanted to round 57 to the nearest 10. The look back method, all it says is, if you're rounding to the nearest 10, go to the tens, look back at the number before. If that is 5 or more, round up. If it's 4 or less, round down. So rounding to the nearest 10, go to the tens, look back. If it's 5 or more, rounds up. 4 or less, rounds down. This is 7, 5 or more. So the whole number will round up to 60. That's all the look back method is. Just look at the number before and round up. Another example, this time with a 3-digit number rounding to the nearest 10. Let's say, for example, don't forget first to draw on your place value grid. Let's say we want to round 342 to the nearest 10. Nearest 10, what you have to do is go to the tens, look back one, so we're here. If this is 4 or more, 4 or less, it rounds down. If it's 5 or more, it rounds up. 4 or less, so it will round 42, will round down to 40. But not, the answer isn't just 40. Remember to include the numbers that you haven't rounded, 340. If I show you that example with a 4-digit number, exactly the same thing. Eight, 2, 3, 6. No, in fact, it's 5. Again, we're rounding to the nearest 10, so we're looking at these two for now. Start in your tens. Start in your tens. Look back. 5 or more, yes. So 35 will round up to 40. The answer is not just 40, but it is all the numbers after it to 8,240, and that is rounding to the nearest 10 using the look back method. How would it look like if we were rounding to the nearest 100? The method would still be exactly the same. For example, 382, rounding to the nearest 100. Go to your hundreds right here. Look back one in the tens. If that is 5 or more, it is. So it rounds up to 400. The whole number will round up to 400. Like so. 400. Why 400? Because looking at all three, we start in our hundreds. Look at the number before it. 5 or more, it'll round up. 4 or less, it will round down. So this rounded up. Show you that with one last example. 742. We're rounding to the nearest 100, so we're looking at all three. The look back method says start in your hundreds because we're rounding to the nearest 100. Look back, 4 or less, yes. So the whole number rounds down to 700. The same method applies for if you're rounding to the nearest 1,000. Sorry, if I was rounding to the nearest 100 with a 4-digit number, exactly the same method. 8, 3, 4, 6, 8,346. We're rounding to the nearest 100. Let me underline these. So these three numbers is what we're looking at. Look back method tells you to start in your hundreds because we're rounding to the nearest 100s. Look back, 4 or less, yes. So 346 will round down to 300 because 4 or less means round down. You can use the same method to round to the nearest 1000 too. If I had, again, 8,937. This is where it gets slightly tricky. We're going to be rounding 8,937 to the nearest 1000. Nearest 1000. Look back method tells you to, well, we're rounding to the nearest 1000, start in the thousands. Look back, it's a 9. That is 5 or more. So the whole number rounds up to 9,000. And that is how you can round to the nearest 10, 100, and 1000 using the look back method. Thank you for watching.